Hey everybody, it's Ken's Wednesday podcast. What's going on? It's June 21st. It's just past 5 p.m. and I've spent the last over an hour, I got to admit, it's been over an hour that I spent working on different sports algorithms in preparation for all my friends. I actually am starting to get a number on the number of friends that there are that want access to this. It's definitely over 10 already. I'll get a count. We'll see what it arrives at. That's right. It doesn't cost any money to be my friend. You just have to go to the website and fill out the form, and I will add your Gmail address to the Google sheet that is the algorithm's friend sheet. And I wanted, it's late today. It's almost 5 p.m. and a lot of these games have started or are happening. Even a WNBA game out of nowhere is happened, or essentially is over. Let's find out. What's the score of the WNBA game with the Las Vegas Aces today, Bing? Gonna find out.
Searching for WNBA game Las Vegas Aces score today.
She was really helpful gathering information. I call her she because she has a female voice, even if she's an
The
AI.
Las Vegas Aces are playing against the Phoenix Mercury today, Wednesday, June 21st, 2023, at 3:30 p.m. at the Footprint Center.
That's almost
The
2
game
hours ago.
is currently in progress and is in quarter four with 5 minutes and 12 seconds remaining.
Fantastic.
The current score is 95 to 69 in favor of the Las Vegas Aces.
Now, the Las Vegas Aces with 5 minutes left have already eclipsed our point projection, according to the algorithm. But there won't be too much talking about WNBA today, but there will be a little bit. Because Mike asked in the comments of the other video, he goes, your WNBA doesn't work. Nice work, though. I was like, so this is giving me a compliment, but also criticizing the fact that it wasn't predicting well enough. You're right, Mike. It wasn't predicting well enough. You know why? I never did the analysis on the variables to get a really good distribution. I went with something that was a lot more evenly balanced, and I didn't look through the numbers. And that's what part of what I spent the last hour on was I dug through this and I changed some colorizing of the numbers here, and I started to look at all of these teams by categories, and I found that this look right here with steals was really interesting, because when you start to order the teams from like empirically who you think is best to worst, which I have watched and followed WNBA this season, I got to admit, I like watching it. I'm not afraid to admit, I might go to a Mystics game. Even my son is like not that turned off by it. Like he's like, yeah, it's good. No, some of these girls can shoot. It's watchable. So I have caught some of it, even though I'm not betting anymore at all, which is awesome, which is why you're going to see happy videos from me, because I'm never losing money because I'm never betting. I'm just watching the outcomes and working to get the algorithms to be as predictive as possible. So what's fun is I looked at this list by steals and I was like, wow, this is a really good list here. Like the Aces are really good. Sun have a record of being really, really good. Sparks are okay. Mystics are underrated when it comes to some of the other stats, like points, apparently, like blocks, and like field goal percentage. They have awful stats in those categories, yet they're not a bad team. So I don't know what's going on there. Dallas is an underrated team, I think. Seattle, I don't know. This list starts to get a little weird down here, but kind of reasonable, especially with Brittany Griner being out on Phoenix Mercury recently. So this was a very interesting list, and it's a defensive type stat. And so I got a better distribution here. And this is a much better distribution as I dug through all these other stats to see what was relevant. You can kind of sort each team by the color here, and then you start to see, you look at how bad the Mystics point per game is, but I don't think they have a terrible record. We don't have win-loss in here, unfortunately. I don't have a good source for WNBA standings on RotoWire and win-loss record. But point is, I did that, and I looked at what it was doing to the point projections and reset yesterday, and it put Dallas ahead of Atlanta, and it just did the right things. And so I wanted to say to Mike, yes, I had not put enough effort into analyzing the standing distributions and variables we use. Just did that and made this a whole lot easier to look at. And so, yeah, you're going to get better results now. That's what happens. So that's WNBA. Vegas Aces are probably going to win. I don't know what spread they have to cover because I didn't gather the line until after the game started because I got so surprised that WNBA was happening. So WNBA is over, but good to know. And that is always added into the Friends Google sheet. So it came out late today. I'm sorry. these are the last 2 days games that you're seeing here. But this is what it looked like previously, but this is what it looks like now. That's why there's a different date here. So I kind of want to show a record of what we're doing because you can see these things getting better, and the record in the Google Sheet is a good place to look at that. Next, we'll do baseball and then we'll do MLS. Actually, no, we're going to do MLS and then we're going to do baseball. So I just posted MLS like 13 minutes ago. I finally got this ready because there are games tonight, and I realized that as I was looking. And I did all the player updating. It's AI really, really helps to get this stuff done now. So here's what we have. I've matrixed player names. Like, we have a good number of guys rostered here. We're a little short on Cincinnati and the Red Bulls, but a lot of these are very good. We're overestimating the Sounders players because they probably have some questionable game time decision guys or something on their roster. Point is, this is a pretty good look. So if you wanted to look at soccer, which has apparently 12 games here on a Wednesday, well, you go by order and look at the score. And it says that this is a pretty close game. Could be a draw. I mean, it's within a tenth of a goal. So it's picking like a draw or a really close game. Here it's giving the favor to Cincinnati, who is a favorite against Toronto. Here it's saying Nashville. It's not that big of a favorite. So this is a pretty good pick out of the algorithm, apparently. So really thinks Nashville would do well against Montreal. Line is not bad. Has them winning 3-1, putting up a lot of goals. Thinks they have offense. Charlotte over the Red Bulls as an underdog. Oh boy. So I don't know what's going on here, but it says that. So that's really interesting. Do the Red Bulls have enough guys listed? Just double check. No, they only have 9. So that might be part of this. That's overestimating Charlotte a bit, but it still says they win. So there's that. Orlando and Philadelphia thinks really too close to call a draw. Houston Dynamo, San Jose, really too close to call, draw. St. Louis over Real Salt Lake is a favorite, but not by that much. Austin over Dallas is a favorite, but not by that much. Vancouver over Colorado by almost a goal, 2-1, and they're an underdog. It's got Vancouver. Galaxy and Sporting KC. It has Sporting KC that is a slight underdog as well. Interesting. LA Football Club and Seattle Sounders. It has a lot of Sounders players too, and it still says LA Football Club that is a favorite. Portland and Chicago, too close to call a draw. So this is just what the algorithm gives you. And like, what's a number 1 pick on here? It's probably something like this, or maybe this, but you saw that it's missing some of the Red Bulls rostered players for some reason. And I dug through there and I'd have to keep digging, but it just doesn't have a full-on lineup yet. And checking for those lineups to be confirmed is something that you can wait for. I have put the lineups, the lineup link. This is how you do this. I got to put this product up in the store, but this is the lineup link for MLS. And basically, if you put that in here, then what you're going to see is they're all expected right now. So within the next hour or two, I think they're going to get finalized. And if you refresh them, you're going to get a better idea and a better roster, and these scores are going to change. And I will do that at some point tonight. I will reset this because it doesn't take that long when those lineups are finalized, and we'll get better numbers here. And I also would like to actually include that in the export, meaning there's a projected score here, but there's also a number of rostered players, everybody, and that's important. So let's add it to the table. Not roster factor, but lineup count is what it is. It's very important. Lineup count. And I'm going to bring it in. And the conditional formatting that I wanted to put on that was like, how many people are actually at 11? We could colorize it that way. But I'm just going to add it and bring it in simply because it's important. Let's not do it that way. Just want to bring it in for those of you in the Google Sheet and show you that, wow, it's really tough to highlight that with just control. Let's do it this way. Grab all of this. Copy. And we're going to go into the Google Sheet and give it to you, everybody who wants soccer. So I'm not going to be doing videos every day, everybody. Plus, you're watching this video on delay. Like, you're watching it on delay. Like, you have access to the Google Sheet. You can see it right now. So there it is. And lineup count matters, and this will change, and this time will change, and we'll get a better look. But that is basically what it said, was something like Charlotte is, a diamond in the rough underdog there. Nashville's supposed to win at a reasonable line. What looks like an underdog line? Right there, the tie no bet I'm talking about. So, all right, that's soccer, guys. But as you can see, stuff's gotten done. Now let's go over to baseball. So baseball, I ran the algorithm yesterday, and I came up with combination 37 being the best. And it's this. It's got more lineup factor in here. It's better. It's better than 187, which is what we were using previously, which didn't have enough lineup factor. Only had 6% lineup factor. I didn't like that. So spent some time figuring out what a better combination, first of all, was yesterday, resulting in more wins. Because look at what I've done for those of you that are in the baseball part of this. This Google Sheet's going to have a lot of sports predictions as we go day by day, everybody. This thing's going to get huge, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really nice basis for historically looking at how the algorithm has done. For those of you who ask me, like, is your thing win? How does it do? This is going to be a great way of tracking that history, because we grab a snapshot in time and the date that it was posted, and we're going to be able to look at stuff. So here are the results from yesterday, except I didn't finish them. I actually didn't put all these scores in right here. So I don't want to advertise yesterday, but point is I will start doing that. I'm recording history, but let's talk about today for those of you that are still with us and care about baseball here on Wednesday. Some of these games are done. Some of them are not done and are starting or have started, like the St. Louis Washington game may or may not be going on right now because it is raining here in Washington. Can you give me the MLB baseball scores for today, Bing AI? Some of these games have started.
Searching for MLB baseball scores today.
So what we have in MLB, and we're going to show you how we also keep this thing current, is I made all the updates today, and this is the look that we have under the new combination. It's this one.
Here are the MLB baseball scores for today, Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. The Seattle Mariners will play against the New York Yankees at 7:05 p.m. at the Yankee Stadium.
No, that's not what I want. You got to ask her a better question. Can you give me the scores of all the baseball games that have completed today and give it to me in short form? It's helpful when you ask for an abbreviated form from the AI because it will try to eliminate those
MLB baseball scores
extra
today.
pieces of information. Got to learn how to be a prompt engineer, everybody. This is the new world we live in.
Here is the score of the completed MLB baseball game for today, Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. The Arizona Diamondbacks won against the Milwaukee Brewers with a score of 5-1 at the American Family Field.
Give me the scores of the other games that finished today in MLB baseball. Should have said abbreviated, but maybe she'll remember. I want to get this really quick. We want to get the exact prompt.
I'm sorry, but I don't have.
All right. Well, I guess that Google's better than you now then, honey. I'm sorry. Sorry to talk to you that way. Also, it's not a woman. It's AI, everybody, just because it has a female voice. I'm going to add some scores in real quick just because it'll help us as I discuss what other things we're going to talk about in the baseball file today. But I did some work. Basically, that's what I want you all to know, is that when I'm not on a hard deadline and nobody's like yelling at me and emailing me to do this early in the morning or something like that, I can actually spend some time with it. The problem, of course, is that it's not sometimes available when you need it, but it will be better for tomorrow, and it'll be easier for me to get tomorrow up without having to reanalyze the file. So we're grabbing more scores here. The Colorado Cincinnati game might have got rained out, maybe. No, it happened. It's 3-5. Cubs 8-3 over the Pirates. It's looking okay. Royals 4-9. Interesting. Had a high scoring game there. Arizona did beat Milwaukee 5-1, and the Mets playing Houston is going on right now, and it's super high scoring game. And then there's another game going on right now, which is St. Louis, Washington, which is actually happening. So they're playing through the rain. And that's what we got so far. So what that does is let's take a look at how the games have gone so far today. It's pretty good. 6-2. Yep, distribution 37 looking better. As Cincinnati is number 1, and they put up only 5 what they won. Against starter was Andrew Abbott. Yeah, Abbott's been pitching great. I saw that. Anyway, point is this is much more helpful now. So things you need to know is that Cleveland has a AAA pitcher going today. So that's not major league stats on this guy. So that could be interesting. Going up against Paul Blackburn, who I remember being one of the only good pitchers on Oakland. But don't go off my memory. Remember, never listen to me. Always listen to the algorithm. So this is the look that you have now. Now, one more thing. I haven't updated lineups in a few minutes. Well, let's go grab our MLB lineups real fast, which we're in MLS lineups. Could just follow the link, but I also just want to show you how to get there because it's pretty easy. You just go to MLB and you go to daily lineups. And a lot of these are confirmed down here now. There's a lot of extra confirmed stuff that wasn't confirmed before. Just going to give us better numbers. So we're going to refresh. And we're going to refresh here. And we're going to go take a look at our matchup sheet to make sure that we have no zeroed out lineup factors. And we don't. And we're going to refresh. This might move around slightly. Let's see. Nope, not a problem. So this is your look. And for everybody who wanted baseball, now all of a sudden, watch this. We can just take the current version of baseball and go right into the Google Sheet. And it goes right here. And the update time is now 5:27. We'll call it 26 p.m. I just got that done. We've got some scores in here. It's an interesting look. You get to see the new distribution that I'm using for everyone who's playing at home with their own version and wants to add, and voila. I mean, just look at how quick it really is to get all these sports done and really just enhanced advanced predictions on things that you'd have to be watching all these sports all the time to get a handle on it. And the algorithm just tends to do what it is supposed to do. Like, do we have a final on this Las Vegas Aces score in this game? We might. How close to 93-75 was it? They probably scored a bunch more. They won 99-79, right? Like, look at that. We're just like 3 points short, 3 to 4 or 5 points short on each. And that's a much better prediction. And they win. And do they cover their spread? I don't know what the spread cover was because I didn't record it. But they win the game and they're up there winning it convincingly, which the algorithm as would have shown over the last 2 days, all the WNBA games. This is just so cool to get all this stuff done this fast. So if you want access and want to be one of my friends, you can follow the link in the description and enjoy. And good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning. Oh, there's one other thing. I know I'm not going to talk long about this, even though this is a huge topic to talk about. That is the other thing that I was watching today, other than sports, which is stocks. I got more work done on the stock straddle algorithm thing. So what's going on here is this is now showing you, and I wanted to wait till after 4 p.m. because we've got best prices possible as the close for the day. But like, it is showing you which companies moved today and how much they moved more than the cost of buying a call and a put option on them that expires this week. And it's showing you basically a list of companies that were very volatile in comparison to their normal movement and how much it costs to purchase options on them. So it's interesting to look at these companies. Basically, Zoom was number 1 in this sense, meaning it would have cost you about $230 some to buy a call and a put on Zoom at a certain strike price, which it shows you all that information in here. It says that the strike price of 70, basically they dropped so much today that they dropped out of the range of, like, they became super profitable if you owned a put on them. So if you bought a call and a put on them, it only would have cost you $233. but they moved $363 in intrinsic value today. Their intrinsic gain is now 31.7%, meaning that whatever money you invested on buying calls and puts on Zoom before Tuesday's open this week, you would have made 31% on just the put option, which you could have sold today and made apparently 31% on your total investment. So what that means is that if you invested $233 in buying those options, you would have been able to sell one of them for $307, and that makes you $74 overall. And you still own a call option on Zoom that expires Friday as well. So you still own something, and you already made money selling one of the two. That is what this says. So it puts the companies in order, and it's telling you that these are companies that are a good idea to buy, to straddle on in the future. I also have a rank of how these companies did last week, because I kept track of their records for the full week of last week and pegged their close to whatever option you could have bought with them. And that means that I gave them this ranking, which is super interesting. So you see like a company like Roblox on here that moved enough today to more than cover their options, was also ranked 227 last week, which is better than a lot of the other ones. This one actually, look at this, John Deere and Company. That's apparently been fantastic over the last couple of weeks. They moved $8.60 today, and it costs less than $800 to buy their options. So you'd already be up $383 this week based on the beginning of the week. And last week they were number 15 on the list in terms of profitability. That's very good. So it's Cisco, another one that's done well, right? So this thing here, like all these companies are what are called one-day winners. Zoom, Salesforce, Roblox, CrowdStrike, Dollar Tree, AMD, which dropped a ton today, Nutrien, Skyworks, Qualcomm. These companies all moved more just today to cover the cost of both their call and puts, meaning they made this money here overall in the week. So this is a very, very cool, because this thing is currently updating. It's not updating the price of the option, meaning this cost is stagnant. This is what you would have paid for the call and the put, an estimate of what you would have paid for the call and the put at the given strike price that is shown over here. This is the strike price. So at a $215 strike price for Salesforce, it cost you $485 to buy the call and the put. These are the ranges of the calls and the puts are showed over here. Let's undo that. This is the range of prices, and we've also got a spread range that shows you whether or not it was a reasonable purchase or not, in terms of like whether or not you have a good value on or a good idea of how much the thing actually values. The lower the spread range, the better it is for understanding the true value of your option contract at a given time. So if the spread range is really big, you can't believe that this is the estimated profit as much, because you don't have a good spread. So all these are pretty good spread ranges. Like this one's not good. Like Nutrien has a bad spread range of 16%, or not great spread range. So whether or not you're actually up on Nutrien is more in question here. And I want to colorize this. I'm going to do that. Let's conditionally format and colorize this. So what you can do here is you can make this, actually it probably already is colorized. Actually, those are all green. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's just some of the spread ranges are enormous, and that's why it blows it out of proportion. I'm going to want to remove companies from this thing that do not have good spread ranges. Like this stuff, like OMAT Technologies, you should be gone, because, well, let me show you why. As soon as it finishes processing, it just means that this is you do not have a good idea of what an OMAT Technologies option will go for or what it is valued at. And therefore it doesn't need to be tracked by us, because we would never consider buying it, because we don't know what it's really valued at, and we're never going to know because the option range is too big. Meaning here's what, like it's somewhere between $75 and $440 to buy a put on them or a call on them. And it's between $80 and $300 to buy a put. So what is it? Is it 80? Is it 200? Is it 285? Like I have no idea. So that company can go. because we're never going to want to buy one of those. And BWX, like, is that another problem company? What's the ranges on here? Between 370 and 700 and 0 and 125, that denotes not a lot of interest in something like that. And we're going to let that go also. We don't like the ranges there. Some of these may get added back if there ever becomes a closer, tighter spread range on the options for that company. But we just got rid of a couple, and that's a good idea because we don't need to track as many. It'll make this file work faster. I was selling access to this file. Now I'm going to only just entertain people that want to ask me about what's going on here for advice about what it does. I'll eventually put it up publicly, but as for right now, I'm just going to keep building more formulas to sort this. Because right now we're just sorting by today's activity. And this is helpful. I mean, it's basically saying buying John Deere for an option maybe that expires in a couple weeks is not a bad idea. They've been moving. They've got a high share price. Just something's been happening with them because they were high on this list last week, and they're once again doing it again today here on Wednesday, jumping more than they need to, and they're going in an up direction. So very interesting stuff right there. All right, guys, that's a long podcast. There's a lot to talk about. If you want access to the Google Sheet for all the sports stuff to see it as it comes up, then follow the link in the description. If you want to learn more about stocks, you can ask questions in the video as well about what different stocks ratings are, and understand that this is an evolving product, but it's certainly something to look at, because to just be able to open this up and sort and be like, all right, well, I guess I should go buy Roblox straddle options for the next couple weeks because they're doing it again. They're pretty cheap. They're moving more than that in one day. Like, that's the kind of company, I've said that before about them. And they showed that today. It's not, I'm not surprised to see them up there. And I keep talking about Cisco too. Cisco keeps doing this. I think their options are still super cheap, and that's why they keep becoming profitable somehow, even though they're not moving that much. But it's still, I mean, you're not making a gain on the week because they moved today just barely around the strike price, but they do move enough, it looks like, to make it there. And they were number 19 last week. So, all right, guys, long podcast. Good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning. May all your stocks be volatile. And may all your days be enjoyable.